Hey, band students, it's Dwayne Huff with Band Leadership Seminars, Band Leadership Online. And are you thinking about becoming a student leader in your marching band program this year? If you are, stay tuned to this because I'm going to share with you what your band director is thinking and what they want from you. And before I jump in there, if you're serious about becoming a leader and you want to be ready for the interview and selection process, run over to my website, bandleadershipseminars.com, go up to the resources tab, click on it, and listen to that quick video because that very first option I created for you. It's called the Leadership Selection and Preparation Quick Starter Kit. And it'll get you started with two videos. One says, what is leadership? And it really dives deep into it. So you know if it's a good fit for you, and then why leadership is important in the context of your band. And then there's a quick assessment that if you'll go through that and complete that, hand it into your BD whenever you get ready to interview and be selected, you'll absolutely crush it in your interview. But let me jump in here and give you some context. Here's what I did. I wanted to give you guys a peek behind the curtain, pull the curtain back on what your band director is thinking, expecting, and wanting from you as a student in the band who aspires to leadership. Now, let me just say this before I start. Leadership is not about a title, right? You can be an effective leader without a title. In fact, some of the most effective leaders are the ones without title. But I know you want to be a section leader, you want to be a band captain, you want to be a drum major. I get it. I understand, right? But I want to share with you what your band director may be thinking, may be looking for, may be expecting, so you can start preparing right now because leadership is not seasonal. It's year round. So let me do this. A little context. Here's what I did. I created a private Facebook group for band directors to serve them, to have them network, to ask questions, for me to be able to serve them. And in the process of that, they would come in and answer questions that I asked, like, what's your top challenge in developing your student leaders? What are you expecting? What are you looking for? What's the biggest frustration? And so I have an example right here of one of those questions, of a few of those questions. I have literally probably 40 pages on a Word document of band directors who have responded to these questions. And I'm going to start with the most recent. I'm not going to tell you who the band director is, but I'm going to tell you the answer to the questions and give you some insight that will help you. While I'm pulling that up, remember, go to bandleadershipseminars.com, go to the resources tab, click on it, watch the video. That first selection down there is meant for you to help you prepare and be ready to be a student leader. But here's the questions that I asked. I asked all of the band directors who came into this private group, forgive my glasses here. I asked them, number one, what's your number one question about developing your student leaders? The second question I asked is, what's your number one question about building team amongst the band? And number three, what's your biggest frustration when it comes to your student leaders and their development, or as they're training and learning how to become leaders? So I'm going to share those three answers with you, and I'm going to give you some insight that will serve you as you develop yourself as a leader, as you go on that journey, and as you apply and interview to become the drum major or a section leader or a band captain, part of the band council, whatever level that is for you. By the way, always feel free to drop questions in the comments. That's where these videos come from. I answer band director questions, but I answer student questions. And I'm going to be going live consistently all the way up through the spring, into the summer, into marching band season, as I travel the country working with high school band programs, going live in their band rooms physically, but then also through my Band Leadership Online course and even live right here. So stay tuned. If you haven't liked the page, like it. But here's the answers to the questions this one band director gave me, but I see a pattern. So this isn't just this one band director. I've heard this question time and time and time again. I've heard these issues time and time again. And if you know about these things and you know what the band directors are thinking, and you're able to understand what they're struggling with, what their challenge, and you can rise to the occasion and be the solution to that challenge, game changer. Hands down, you're going to stand head and shoulders above those who also want to be leaders, and you're going to be more effective, and you'll be very much valued as a student leader. So let's go with the first question real quick. I'll do this pretty quickly for you. What's the number one question about developing your student leaders? And this band director said, how do you get, especially the young students, the underclassmen, to buy into the program? So think about this for a second. Here your band director is with a plan, with a vision, with what they want the program to do and the direction they want it to go. Now you got to realize this is their job. They get paid for it, but it goes beyond that because they live and breathe this stuff every single day, and they're trying to make the best experience for you. But they get kind of perplexed and frustrated whenever they see that students and student leaders in the band are not buying in or going in the direction or aligning with what they see and want for the program. So imagine the frustration, the stress that can cause. So if you as a leader can understand fully what the vision is, what direction the program is going, what the band director wants to accomplish, by asking questions, by being truly committed to understand what they're dealing with and what they're expecting, and then you can be the bridge between them and your peers to be the champion, the cheerleader, the enthusiast about how exciting and wonderful the program could be and should be if we all fell in line with this direction. And you can be that peer-to-peer influence, game changer. You will be an asset to your band directors like you would not even believe. But it doesn't start whenever you interview. It doesn't start when you try out. It starts right now, today, no matter when that is. I realize as I'm recording this, many of you are in school right now, so probably nobody's watching this live, but I did it as a resource so that you can come back to it and watch it time and time again. And so even if you're watching this and you have a question or if you need some clarification, please don't hesitate to drop your questions in here. Moving on to the next thing that the band director said, I'm gonna have to go between my glasses here. I'm trying to make this a pretty short video. By the way, if you haven't done so already, run over to bandleadershipseminars.com, go to the resources tab. I've put together a leadership selection and preparation kit for you. There's 2 videos in there. One is what is leadership? The other one is why is leadership important? You really need to know that before you get involved in leadership. And then there's an assessment that'll really help you dive deep and make sure that leadership is a good fit for you before you go all in. Because trust me, if somebody would have told me before I became a student leader, hey, Dwayne, this is all that's involved, I would have said, you can keep that, right? But there's a lot of reward to leadership. And if you know what you're getting into going into it, it can be the most fulfilling and rewarding thing because you serve and leave a legacy with the band. Without further ado, here's the second question. I asked them, I said, what's your number one question about building team amongst your band? And this band director said, when you have opposing views within your leadership team, how do you get them to move past the personal and see the big picture? So they have opposing views between the members of the team. How do we move past the personal or what I want, what I expect, what I need, and see the big picture? And I would say this, if you can be the person, again, who will fully understand all sides of what they're thinking, what they're saying, what they're expecting, and be able to ask non-confrontational questions such as, tell me more about that. How would you approach it? What are you seeing? And not try to guide it, not try to influence it, but just listen to it. And you can get the band director's perspective of frustration, of hope, of desire, of what direction they want to go. And then you can understand what your peers are thinking, why they see it the way they see it, where the division is. And then you can be that voice of reason, of excitement, of enthusiasm. And as an example, saying, you know what, guys, this could be an incredible program. And if we're all on the same page, pulling in the same direction, it's going to happen for us. Now, I realize that we can't all get what it is that we need, want, and expect. But man, the band director has a beautiful idea of what this can look like, and our show could be amazing, and the music's going to be amazing. Maybe we can come together and pull our talents, our resources, our creative ideas, and enhance the quality of the vision that the band director has instead of being divided. What do you say? Your enthusiasm, your attitude, your consistency, and the way that you show up with your peers and your band director is going to say tons about you. You've heard the saying before, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, but it's also what people see when you show up. And so if there's division in ideas between any team, whether it's the band and the band director, the band and the leaders, the leader and the band directors, if you can be the voice of reason and that bridge that brings everyone together, that's a beautiful, beautiful asset to have as a leader. How do you do that? You build connection and you build relationship with everybody on that leadership team and the band director. And you stay in tune with what the different opinions are, the different views are, and you help them to see the commonalities that they share instead of focusing on where they're different. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, drop it in the comments. If you're getting value from this, please like this page so you'll see when I go live. Share this with somebody who could benefit. And if you think this would serve any fellow leaders, tag them in the post or tag your band director if you think this is a good video that they need to see as well. Final question. Final question is this. I asked this band director, I asked all the band directors, what's your biggest frustration when it comes to your student leaders and their development or their training or their evolution as leaders? And he said, or she said, I don't remember who it was, when student leaders lack understanding and get frustrated at the band, at themselves, or at me, the band director. So when they lack understanding and they get frustrated at the band, at themselves, at me. You know, so many times as upcoming leaders, we don't have the big picture. You know, we only see so much because we're only involved in the program to a certain level. We know our instrument, we know our section, excuse me, we become aware of the music, but we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Excuse me. In a band program, my throat is getting dry, forgive me. These are live and unscripted, people. I'm here to serve you, the student leaders and the band directors. So if you're enjoying this, give me a thumbs up, click the heart button, and share this with somebody. But the frustration of not understanding, you know, sometimes the band director is moving in a certain direction or the staff is trying to accomplish something. And it's not that they're trying to hold things back from you or keep you from understanding stuff or withholding information from you, though it can seem that way at times. But it can be frustrating when we don't know where it's going, why they're doing what they're doing. In fact, there was some research done. They wanted to understand what caused people to fall in line, to comply, to submit to a demand, a request, or a suggestion. And what they found out when there was no reason or there's no understanding, they only complied 10% of the time. But whenever they understood a reason, here's why, here's because, compliance went up to 90%. So here's what we have to do as leaders. We have to get good again at asking clarifying questions to fully understand the things that are confusing us or frustrating us. That's what the band director, that's with the band director, that's with our peers. We have to be good at saying, hey, I don't understand that fully. And I think if I understood, here's the benefit. Can you explain a little bit more about it to me? Or if you approach a band director and you say, hey, you know, I don't really get this and it's kind of frustrating me. Is there something I'm missing? Or is there something that you can share with me that would help me to understand? Man, because that one ability to understand or that little piece of information or that missing component can change the entire game. Unfortunately, so many times as student leaders or as people who want to be student leaders, and I know I was guilty of this as I was coming up, is that we want to jump to conclusions. A mature leader does not jump to conclusions. They feel the situation, they see what's going on, they may feel the frustration, but instead of reacting to it, they pause, they think about it, they give it a little time and space, and then when they're calm and level-headed, they'll walk up to their peers or their band director and they'll say, hey, you know, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I don't understand something. Something's frustrating me, but it probably doesn't need to be. Can you share this with me? And showing that kind of maturity, starting right now and consistently with your band director, is one of the things they crave in a leader because they know that you're not going to lose your cool under pressure. I'll share a story about my experience with this as a student leader, and then I'll leave you until next time. But before I do that, bandleadershipseminars.com, go there, go to the resources tab, the leadership selection and preparation kit, 2 videos. One's what is leadership? The other one's why is leadership important? And there's an assessment there that's going to serve you as you prepare to interview and to audition for your leadership positions. But a story, I'll be honest and say that whenever I showed up, I'm sorry, I'm looking out here in the Prime, Amazon Prime, delivering my reads. Squirrel. So I got reads coming in, right? And so my son comes up to me the day after I order my reads and says, hey, Dad, I need some reads too. I'm down to 1. So I had to reorder. Hopefully they're coming in the same shipment. But my story with this is that I have to say that I was an emotional leader most of the time. I'd react to things. Things would upset me. Things would aggravate me or frustrate me, as this band director is talking about. And instead of asking good questions or taking a deep breath and keeping my cool, I'd immediately go off on somebody, or I'd tell the band director I wasn't happy. And that doesn't get you very far as a leader. And we have to learn to be very patient with ourselves and with the band director and our peers, because anybody can react and go off and fly off the handle. But what your band director is looking for is consistency, a level head, and somebody who won't get so easily frustrated, but seek to understand the bigger picture when things are not going the way that they want to. So I hope this serves you. If it has, please share it with somebody. Give it a thumbs up, give it a hearts up, share it, or tag somebody in this. And if you have a question, even if you're watching the replay, please drop that question in the comments or shoot me a message directly on this page if for some reason you don't want to ask it out loud. That's totally cool. Again, my name is Dwayne Huff with Band Leadership Seminars. My background is I was a 9-time student leader in the band and a 6-time drum major for 5 different organizations. I don't say that to impress you, but to impress upon you. I made a lot of mistakes. I did a few things right, but then I ultimately went on a journey to come back and serve you to make your leadership experience better. So if I can be of service to you on any level, just let me know what questions you have. Stay tuned, like the page, so when I go live, you see it. And run over to bandleadershipseminars.com. Go to the resources section. There's some great resources there for you and your band director. And until we talk next time, stay tuned. I will be going live a lot leading up until the summer and until marching band season, and even throughout there to serve you and answer your questions. Have a great day, and we will talk soon. Bye-bye, guys.